we're at a time on the planet where we are learning to self-actualize. And because we're learning to self-actualize, which is a fifth dimensional principle, right? We are pushing against the need to be special and the need to belong. Because if you need to belong, you cannot self-actualize. You only self-actualize when you understand your unique contribution of what you're here to bring and do. For the longest time, people have called this purpose, but it's not really purpose. It's more about the capability to stand so solemnly within yourself that the world doesn't matter. And so you're able to see what matters most and support it. And that's where your own unique lens comes in. And so that's kind of where we are now as a planet, is we're learning to self-actualize. That's why we're having the protests. That's why we're having all the people coming together, is we're learning to self-actualize. And the hardest part about self-actualization is the sense of belonging that is required to cease to matter. And what are we taught and conditioned since a child? To belong, to fit in, to seek attention, right? All of these things that create an external validation source is what we're conditioned into, so that we can't step into sovereignty. And so what happens now, this world that we're in, is we have two groups of people, these people and these other people. And in case you ever decide you want to share this, I'm not going to say the names, but those two groups of people exist right now. And there's a war between these people in a lot of senses. But what's really interesting about these two groups of people is there's a third group of people now who are pro-choice. They don't care whether you do or don't do the thing, right? They just care whether you have the right to do the thing or not do the thing. And that group is in the middle of those other two groups that are at war. And slowly but surely, those groups are stopping their war to rally behind choice. And what is choice? Choice is self-actualization, the ability to be worthy of choice, to be self-actualized, to not need to prove that you're worthy of choice, to not need to require others to validate that you're worthy of choice, but simply to be worthy of choice. So what better cause than to be worthy of choice, to rally together the world that has been destroyed, really? I mean, like over these last 2 years, we have broken the world at levels that needed to, so that the corruption could be exposed and so that we could heal. But we've now reached a precipice where we are now acknowledging, hey, the most important thing for me is freedom. I still have the choice to do what I want to do, but I'm going to be pro-freedom. I'm going to be pro-creating choices for others. Because what does the law of freedom say? No one is free until each are free and all are freeing each other. What's happening right now? People are acknowledging that they don't feel free, and they rally together with other people that don't feel free until they start to free themselves and others. And you're watching this in mass happen all over the world right now. And to me, this is a huge time for the planet. This is like more hope every day than the day before, because you're watching people say, hey, this is not okay. I can see this clearly now, and I'm not willing to give up who I am to belong to this other group. And so many people have now done this that there are now groups that are choosing to do this. And so they created their own group outside of the power struggle. And that is one of the reasons why we are guaranteed that we're ascending, is because we're ascending to the next game, which is self-actualization. And you can't ascend to self-actualization as long as you have to belong. So when you say, I no longer am willing to do something to belong, and enough people do that, then you begin to belong again, right? But you belong to a different group, a group that you are able to be within yourself inside of. And you create a new type of group, a group that is a group of lone wolves that are working together for the betterment of humanity, instead of a group that ostracizes and requires certain things to be part of it. Rally behind a single purpose and premise, which is freedom. And actually, that's what the US was founded on. It was a ton of people that would never in a million years have worked together, choosing to work together for the betterment of humanity. And they have their problems just like everyone else, right? But they knew that they didn't need to belong enough that they could create a place where others that didn't belong could fit in together, and they could attempt something new. And if you look at history, anytime that you have any great advancement, it's always done outside the box, never inside of it.